Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. Today's video is a bit different. I don't normally do this. We are doing a big fat compilation of Q1 of my reading. So what that means is I have just taken the videos that I've already recorded, cut them down a little bit to get rid of the fluff and the transitions and things like that, and merge them together so that we have a Q1 recap of all the books I've read. I'm so sorry this is so low quality. I was going through a whole bunch of stuff. Without further ado, let me just say my intro piece. Hi, my name is Allie. You can call me Allie, and thank you for coming to my video. Roll the intro. And I will see you next week for another video. Hi, niece. Oh, pretty baby. It's so hot in this room. I know. So, in all transparency, I did just a little special. So in 100% transparency, I did film this video originally and edit it and do the thumbnail and do all of that stuff, and I have no idea where the footage is. This video is not scripted. It's gonna be a hot mess. Stick with me now. Let's get into our January reading wrap-up. In January, let me go over how the reading wrap-up work. There's 4 categories. We have read, anticipated reads, carrying over, and DNFs. I'll also give you a little bit of stats because I have them written down. I don't always do that for you guys. The read is obviously what I read that month. The carrying over is books that I started reading that I have not finished that I'm going to carry over to the next month. The DNF is books that I decided I do not want to finish, which doesn't mean that they were bad books. It just means I don't want to read them anymore. Maybe I'll pick them up in the future. So like if I decide, you know, right now is not the time I'm going to read them. If I'm not actively planning on reading them in the next month, they go in the DNF category, and I do a video at the end of the year where I try and read as much books from my DNF as possible. Then we have our anticipated reads. For this month, I don't have any anticipated reads because I just didn't film them. Like, I didn't write them down, so I have no idea what my anticipated reads were. But the February March videos do have the anticipated reads, so if you're interested in that, then you can go look at that video. Starting with the first book, I read The Housemaid. The Housemaid by Frida McFarlane follows our main character, who has just recently got out of jail and is looking for work. She decides to work as a housemaid for a really rich family, but realizes that this family is not as it seems. The wife is overbearing, crazy, and very hot and cold. The husband seems to be the enduring type, and the daughter is really her mother's follow-up. Her daughter is sort of cold, sort of callous, and is intentionally trying to make our main character's life a living hell. I enjoyed this book. I think I rated it 4 stars. I understand the discussion around Frida McFarlane and how we think that she might be trying to copy off of some other people. This is the only book that I've read with this type of premise, but I do know that there are other books following the exact same premise that are very, 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 very similar. So I would like to give a PSA about that. So the next book I read was The Companion. The Companion was so good. It follows an orphan who is being brought into a new rich house, and she thinks that she's just going there to kind of like help out around the house, you know, like she's like, oh, I'm gonna be like little orphan Annie, I'm gonna, you know, clean the floors and scrub all of that. But no, it turns out she's there to be the companion to the family's daughter. The daughter is incapacitated of some sort. She's functioning. She eats by herself. She walks by herself. She does not talk, and she does not acknowledge people. So they're not sure what's wrong with her. So basically the main character is just there to be the companion to her, and she's being the companion. She's falling in love with the daughter's brother, and she's learning all the secrets of this family because something's not right. Like, it's just a whole slew of crazy things, and I actually rated this one 5 stars. I really, 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 really enjoyed this book. It was really good. I don't really know what I'm trying to say. It was really good. I liked it. I think you should read it. It definitely does have medical horror. Moving on. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Moving on. The next book I read was Good Spirits by B.K. Borison, and I liked it. I don't remember what I gave it. I'll put it on the screen somewhere. It follows Harriet, who is our main character, and she's getting haunted by Nolan, who is the ghost of Christmas Past, and she doesn't know why, because the ghost of Christmas Past is supposed to come to people who are negative or have done bad things in their life, and she has done literally nothing. She is a ray of sunshine. She is the nicest person you will ever meet, and she's getting haunted, and they're trying to figure out why. They just can't figure out what's happening. They can't figure out what's going on, that she needs to be haunted by Nolan, but they're getting closer, and it's a romance, so, you know, you can gotta figure it out. I think I gave it a 3.75 or 3.5. I didn't like reading it when I was reading it. Like, I thought that the book was so boring. I thought that it was so unoriginal. I had read a whole bunch of other romances at the same time, so I was comparing and contrasting in ways that I probably shouldn't have been. But looking back, I can definitely appreciate what B.K. Borison was trying to do and what she succeeded in doing, and I can definitely appreciate the paranormal activity that was going on within the book. I think that Harriet is such a cute, sweet, kind character. I think that I love how the characters were so straightforward about their feelings. They were just like, yeah, I like you. You're cute. I like you. I think that's something that we don't really see a lot within romance. I feel like a lot of the time romance is a miscommunication trope or a enemies to lovers trope, or like you can't really share their feelings because they don't want the other person to know, or they can't have the other person know. So reading this book was just actually kind of refreshing on that sense. And then of course it was a Christmas book, so it felt really, really, really nice to read a book that was Christmassy and have good vibes all around. And I love that. And even the glimpses of negative energy that were coming off in this book, like obviously nothing can be smooth sailing, so even the negative aspects of the book were really touching and heartfelt, and I didn't like, there was nothing on that page that when I was reading the book was like, oh, I don't like that. I do recommend this book. Moving on. The second to last book I read was A First Time Caller, and it was not as I expected. First Time Caller follows Lucy on her quest to love. Her daughter calls in to Aiden Valentine's radio show host, and he's like, dude, my mom is single as fuck and I don't like that. Can you please get her somebody to date? And Lucy finds out they invite her to the radio show to be a co-host while she looks for love. It's a whole entire segment on like Tuesdays, and basically her and the co-host start falling in love. It's really cute. It's really sweet. I love the premise of it. I like what they were trying to do. I just think it's really overhyped. I did not like how Aiden and Lucy could not just talk like adults. Like, they're just like, we can't be together. We can't be together. We can't be together. You're not what I'm looking for. Did you try it? Did you actually sit down and think for like 5 seconds why y'all couldn't be together? Or are you just saying that to say that? Like, it's just so annoying. I didn't like that. I didn't like how Aiden was such a pessimist. And Lucy, one thing I did like was that Lucy is a mechanic. And Lucy, it's so cool. I've never seen anything like that in a book. I really enjoyed that. But I gave it like a 3.5 or 3.25. It wasn't my favorite book. It was just okay to me. Oh my god. Moving on. The last book that I read was Friend Zone. I think also by B.K. Borison or by Abby Jimenez. Oh, First Time Caller was by B.K. Borison too. And I think B.K. Borison's premises are so cute. I think that she comes up with like original creative things. So basically the Friend Zone follows the female main character and the male main character. The female main character owns her own little doggy shop business thingamajiggy, and basically she's got a little bit of fertility issues and she does not have a good relationship with her family. So she meets this guy and she's like, yo, I need you to work at my business. And he's like, yo, I guess. And she's like, yo, I kind of like you, but I have a whole fiance. Like, I have a dude who's about to come in and date me. And well, they're not fiancés really, but I feel like they would have been fiancés if the things didn't happen the way they happened. And so basically she's in like a little love angle because she likes this guy and this guy likes her, and then this guy likes her, and she's got fertility issues, and so that's a big thing in there. And so I just think that, like, it was good. It was sweet. I liked it. I think I gave it like 4 stars. It was cute. Going on to my DNFs, I did not finish 0 books. I read all the books that I had set out to read. Enjoyed most of them, pretty much. I don't think I rated anything lower than 3. In January, my average rating was a 4.2, which is not bad. That's actually pretty good. That's higher than last year. My average rating overall after 2 5 stars and a whole bunch of 4 stars was a 4 star. Let's go to carrying over. I decided to carry over Dracula. I started reading it, and to be honest, like, I'm gonna be honest with you because it's already past January, I did not finish it, but I was carrying it over at the time. I carried over Paper Towns, and I did finish that, and I carried over Open Wide, and I did finish that too. So the goal of these stats is to see how much I read, how much I did not finish, and how much I was carrying over, because my goal this year is to kind of pick books more intentionally than what I've been doing. Like, I would just pick 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000 books and either hate them because I didn't actually know what I was reading, or carry on trying to read it so long that it just became absolute. It was like, you opened that book in April and you didn't finish it till December. Like, you should be able to finish a book in enough time if you're giving yourself enough time to read. Like, I want to see the statistics of how much I'm carrying over to dwindle down, how much I'm DNFing sort of dwindling down, and how much I'm reading growing. The next section and our final section for today is our anticipated reads. I was so excited to read You'll Be Gone Now, The Hawthorne Legacy, and When We Were Monsters. So let's get into some stats before we wrap it up. I DNF'd 0, I read 5. My average rating was a 4.2, which is not bad. I read 3 romances and 2 horror thriller mystery. In actuality, I think I read 1 horror and 1 mystery thriller. My most read author was B.K. Borison, and I read 1 ebook, 1 audiobook, 2 library books, and 1 owned book. February was actually a pretty good month. It wasn't as good as January, but that's okay. Can't all be winners. I read 4 books, and also I have my iPad here so that we can look at the analytics of February and March afterwards. First, let's start with what I read. The first book I read was Open Wide by Jessica Gross. Sorry, I'm thinking of Emily Wilde. I really liked this book. It was so gross and like disgusting. And the way it made me feel disgusted, and I really enjoyed that. And I think that more books need to kind of teeter on the edge of disgustingness a little bit more. There were some things about the book that I didn't quite like she was talking about masturbating in front of her dog, wanting her dog to lick her on her private parts. But other than that, the book itself, like the entire premise of it was something so interesting and so special that I don't think I've really found anywhere else inside of a book. Maybe a couple of books. Vicious is a close second in like the weird inaugurations of things, like the different coming together and being in somebody's body and ripping them apart into shreds. But Vicious also doesn't come close to the psychological nastiness that this book comes to. Like, it's all about the dirt, the disgustingness, the nastiness, the ugliness, every single thing. I rated this a 3.5 stars simply because I just found the dog thing super disgusting. And the narrator's voice was so high-pitched and childish in a way that it really took me out of reading, but also it was very natural to what I thought the characters would sound like. The next book I read was Paper Towns by John Green. This is going towards my reading every John Green book. The book was okay. I thought that the most interesting part of the book was the very small part of the book where they spent all this time looking for a female love interest. Paper Towns it's cool. I get what it was trying to do. I didn't like the love interest at all. I thought she was a bitch. I thought that she took everything for granted. I thought that John Green didn't really set a clear foundation as to why she acted the way she did. Like, she was a rebellious person, but they didn't really give a reason as to why she was rebellious. She was just like, oh, well, everybody's broken. But okay, everybody's broken, but you have a bad relationship with your parents. Why do you have a bad relationship with your parents? Is that the reason why you're rebellious? Or is your relationship strained because you're being rebellious for no reason? Why do you act the way you act? I enjoyed the 3 main characters, the main character and his friends. I think their chemistry was so much more charismatic than the main character and the love interest. I rated that a 2.5, which I think is my lowest I've ever rated a John Green book, simply just because I felt like there was a little bit of I don't think he's racist. I really don't. I don't think the microaggressions were intentional, but the way the book was written, it just kind of fed into some stereotypes that I wasn't very excited about. So yeah, I rated it less than a 3 star. It's a 2.5. The next book I read was Autobiography of Red. The book gave me a headache, but I really enjoyed it, and I'm not even going to spend time talking about it because it's one of those books that you just got to read it for yourself. I rated it 4 stars, but there was mentions of sexual assault. It was a very deep book, but also very short and quippy. It was very fast. I read it on the way to a color guard competition, and it was really nice. I enjoyed it. The next and last book that I read in 2025, oh my god, in February was Viola Davis's Finding Me. It was very heartwarming and stretching. I always feel weird rating memoirs that's somebody's experiences, that's somebody's life. They're choosing to share their life with you, and it's not for you to judge their life. But I feel like with memoirs and autobiographies and biographies, you can kind of judge it based on their storytelling abilities. Do they get their message across properly? Are they saying what they want to say? Is their story, like, is the story cohesive? Are they bouncing around back and forth and making it hard to understand them as a person? Are they using the fact that they are famous to get leverage for somebody to sort of push a really crappy memoir? Viola Davis, I don't know. She just hit it out of the park. Like, I was there, sat with her, grappling with the things that she went through. I want to go into a memoir and feel the surprise that the narrator is feeling. I want to feel the, oh my God, like, I want to feel like I'm there. And that's something that I think Viola did when I'm gonna spoil it a little bit, but when she talked about the fact that her neighbor, her racist neighbor, killed her dog, like, the way that she narrates it, it's so, oh, well, that just happened, that's my life. But it also is like, that was her life. Like, she's used to that because that was what happened back then. When you had issues, you did last resort horrible things, and when the horrible things were done to you, when you have no other better thing to happen to you, you're just like, oh, okay, that's what happened. And it really makes you think. And I just think that Viola Davis did an amazing job, and for that I gave it 5 stars. Wow. Play the editing alley, throw in some like. Okay, moving on to the next category. Let's talk about my DNFs, because boy did I DNF a lot of things. The first DNF was All His Pretty Girls. It's just such a long book. I don't like the main character. I don't like the tension and the stuff that they have between them. I tried it, I picked it back up, and I didn't like it, so I'm putting it down. Maybe I will pick back up again in October. The next 2 books are by the same author. There is The Beauty of the Husband and Hysteria by Jessica Gross. I just wasn't in the mood for a Jessica Gross book. I have to have the right time to read a Jessica Gross book, and it just wasn't the right time. The second to last category of February is the books that I will be continuing in February. Granted, it is already April. The first book was The Great Gatsby. This book will not fucking finish. It's only like 230 pages, and yet it will not finish, and I don't know why. And the last one is Game Changer. I just don't like the narrator. That's really my only qualm with the book. My predicted reads for March: When We Were Monsters, Read The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. And I also predicted that I would, finish reading Becoming. I read 1 book in March. It did not happen. None of my predicted happened, actually. In March, I read Aristotle and Dante Discover the Universe. I rated it 4 stars, and I really liked the book. It took me an entire 4.5 weeks to read the damn book. And then I didn't realize I finished it, so I thought I had not finished it. So I went back to the middle thinking that I had missed a section and I had accidentally skipped to the end, and I read through the entire book over again thinking I had missed something because I didn't know where I left off, just to realize I had read the entire book. I DNF'd When We Were Monsters. I just didn't want to read it anymore. I also DNF'd Game Changer because I could not listen to Tort Tom's voice one more time. Maybe I'll pick it back up, physical copy. I continued a couple of books, actually. Like, started reading A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and I'm actually almost halfway through. I'm really enjoying it so far. I love reading books and then watching movies, or watching movies and then reading books, and seeing how they correlate and change and what tweaks are made. I also have that thing in my head where the actors that played the characters, I see them when I'm reading the books, but for whatever reason, that's not happening. I'm imagining for Andy, I'm imagining the sister, Janisha from Saltburn, as Andy, which is crazy because I don't think that's what the actor looks like in the movie, the TV show, at all. And so we are on to our last section for today's video, which is our predicted. I predicted that I was going to read The Fisherman, and I'll read to you the blurb. So we have The Fisherman. In upstate New York, in the woods around Woodstock, Dutchman Creek flows out of the Ashokin Reservoir. Steep-banked, fast-moving, it offers a premise of fine fishing and of something more, a possibility too fantastic to be true. When Abe and Dan, 2 widowers who have been soulless in each other's company and our shared passion for fishing, hear rumors of the creek and what might be there, they remedy to both their losses They dismiss it as just another fish story. Soon, though, the men find themselves drawn into a tale as deep and old as the reservoir. It's a tale of dark pacts, of long-buried secrets, and of a mysterious figure known as Dare Fisher, the fisherman. It will bring Abe and Dan face to face with all they have lost and with the price they must pay to regain. If that doesn't sound exciting to you, I don't know what is. I'm not even a fisherman girly, but I'm actually kind of excited to read this. So, which is always a good thing, because the more excited you are to read, the more you tend to read, in my experience. But also that means if I don't like the book, it's gonna really drag me down and really make me feel sad and upset, and I'm not ready for that. Next thing I predicted was The Shadows by Alex North. It says, you knew a teenager like Charlie Crateby, a dark imagination, a sinister smile, always on the outside of the group. Some part of you suspected he might be capable of doing something awful. 25 years ago, Crateby did just that, committing a murder so shocking that it attracted a strange kind of infamy that exists only in the darkest corners of the internet and inspired more than one copycat. Paul Abrams remembers the case all too well. Crabtree and his victims were Paul's friends. Paul has slowly put his life back together, but now his mother, old and suffering from dementia, has taken a turn for the worse. Though every inch of him resists, it is time to come home. It's not long before things start to go wrong. Paul learns that the detective, Amanda Beck, is investigating another copycat who has struck in the nearby town of Featherbank. His mother is distressed, insistent that there is something in the house, and someone is following him, which reminds him of the most unsettling thing about the awful day 25 years ago. It wasn't just a murder, it was the fact that afterward, Charlie Crateby was never seen again. I am in like a mystery feeling, which is crazy because it's April, it's like spring and summer and like happiness outside, but here I am ready to read mysteries. I don't know if this is just a vibe that's gonna be happening for April, but I'm here for it. But I did try and throw in a little bit of spring stuff to kind of check off my 2026 reading list. Next we have Good Girl Bad Blood, because I think I will be finishing this book this month, so I think I want to start the next book this month. Yellowface, I'm really interested in it. I think it's really exciting to me. Basically this white author steals one of her frenemies who had died right in front of her's book and writes it as her own, and she's just kind of like trying to cover her tracks and stuff. But it's really interesting to me seeing how things manipulate and move and kind of like get together, if that makes sense, and I'm actually really excited to read it. I want to read Always and Forever Lara Jean because I just need to finish the series and I'm tired of reading it. And last but certainly not least, I want to read Lolita. It's such a controversial book, but I have been trying to read this, just like The Great Gatsby, for so long. This is Editor Alley at like 10 o'clock at night. You probably can't see me, but I forgot to put the statistics up on the screen for you at the end for February and March, so I thought I would do that right now. According to the Fable statistics, I finished 10 books, 5 in January, 4 in February, and 1 in March. I'm at pace to finish my reading goal of 35 books by November. I've read 5 romance books, 3 young adult books, 2 horror, and 2 literary fiction, and 2 thriller books, although some of those are overlapping, and my average rating is 4 stars with 1 in 2.5, 1 in 3.5, 1 in 3.7, 5 in 4 stars, and 2 in 5 stars. And my most read author is B.K. Borison. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye!